So today we're going to ride the Crossplane R1, a 2009. No traction control, no safety features at all. It's the oldest of the bikes that has none of the features like that. Yamaha, the year after they made this, decided to include all the safety features, but not a 2009. Anyway, we checked the weather at the very end of this, and they said there was a very slight chance of rain. Well, we always have taken chances, and today the weatherman won right at the very end of the ride, but we still got a nice ride in, and of course we always enjoy riding that Crossplane. Boy, this good weather just continues day after day after day, and we don't want to miss one day of it. I don't want to miss one riding day. This is the best, absolutely the best time of the year. It has just cooled off from the hottest part of the year, and we've got a gap now, maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then we'll get into that getting bundled up for the ride. But the weather's just been great. Yeah, every morning here on a farm starts out pretty much exactly the same as the day before. We try to get up early and try to get the bike that we want to ride put in position, and the one you want to ride somehow always winds up being in the back, and there's not much you can do about it. But I always like to spend a few minutes looking at these two. I call them my Yamaha twins, and I really like the look of the silver and the black, and to me that's a really nice combo for this type of bike. And no matter what angle you look at it, I kind of like that blue. Now, of course, not everybody does. I'm sure the Ducati guys like their red and their yellow and whatever, and the Honda guys like their paint jobs, but whatever. Everybody likes something different. That's what makes motorcycling fun. And I always want to check the air, especially these are tires I'm still in a basic beginning of testing, the Pirelli Angels that I got from Vlad, and I'm trying to keep track of how they wear, and they feel just about like Michelin 2s, not a whole lot different. In this case, I had to add a little air because I've been checking it every day, and of course each time you check it, you let out an incremental amount of air. That's why I always have the compressor right there, ready to go. 34,018 miles, and that's every one of those miles has been a ton of fun.
Okay guys, no biting. Come on. Let's go. Time is money. Yes.
So the sun really never came out today, and we were very thankful just to get the ride that we did have. At the end of the ride, the roads got wet, and we had to ride back in some, just drizzle, that's all. But as always, any ride you get is better than a day on Rikers Island. And even on a day we didn't get any sunshine today, you didn't even need sunglasses today. Those silver wheels and that silver paint that I custom mixed for this project, they just couldn't be nicer. And I always think that's one of the things that really changed this bike from when it had the flat black wheels to the silver wheels, was a major upgrade. the back roads this time of year, we're not at the point of the year where a lot of leaves are falling on the road. Certainly no salt or any dirt, the residual stuff from when you have snow. This is that chunk of the year, about 2 or 3 months of the year, when the roads are really at their very best. And I wanted to take advantage of every day. Now, at the end of the ride, when the roads finally got wet from drizzle and light rain, I really got a little chance to experience how the Pirelli Angels were going to handle on the wet roads, and I didn't see a big difference one way or the other from the Michelin 2s, and of course the Michelin 2s are excellent. So I guess it's a win-win. But the real thing that I'm hoping to learn within the next year or so is how much mileage, and on this particular bike, this bike really eats tires up like crazy. And the Michelin 2s don't last that long. Vlad seems to think these will be better. Boy, I'm rooting for him. And this bike has over a dozen carbon fiber parts that I've handmade, and every one of them has held up. This is going to be 13 years. I probably made them in the first couple of years of owning the bike. I'd say they held up well for 10 years and actually for more than 34,000 miles already. Now, one of the things I like about this area, there's an awful lot of very slow first or second gear turns that become switchbacks a lot of times. And most of the time, the radius changes halfway through the turn. It's a great area to ride. Now, one thing about the Crossplane, that this motor has an exceptionally, I think, cool sound when you back off the gas at high speed, or if you do a run by, and it sounds great when you're sitting on the seat and opening the throttle. Another thing that's fun with the crossplane, because it's got such great torque, you just leave it in one gear higher than it has to be. You don't have to shift through the whole, in this case, a chicane. Now with the quiet exhaust, going through some of these populated areas, boy, I can remember having a louder exhaust, the one I made, on there, straight through exhaust. It was cool sounding everywhere except where there were people, or even worse, where there were cops. And I'm always really, really cautious because an awful lot of these turns, this is just one example, they're really blind right up to the very last minute. You have to commit to either getting on the gas or just rolling through or getting on the brake. And because this bike is geared for 90 miles an hour in first gear, you very almost can do the whole ride in first gear if you wanted to. Very cool. But again, the thing that's special about the R1 is the flexibility of that engine, the ride-by-wire, and how it develops the torque nice down low. If you're in a gear too high, a gear too low, if you want to shift, or if you don't want to shift, you want to treat it like it's an R6 and just wring its neck. Either way, it's pretty happy. And this is one of several bikes I converted from clip-ons to handlebars early in the ownership of the bike in the first couple of years. And that suits my riding style a whole lot better than the clip-ons. And I've had many, many sets of mirrors on this bike, low ones, high ones, big ones, short ones, tall ones. And I finally, after so many years, arrived at mirrors that really, really do work. They work well. And there's some nice open parts of these roads where you can go through the gears. You do whatever it is that makes you happy. Go through the turns. There's a lot of big sweepers right along the lakes. That whole road full of nice sweepers. It's just a great place to ride. And some of these really sharp turns, they really are challenging on a big, powerful bike, but they are a lot of fun. No matter what bike you have, these roads are challenging all the time. And of course, the other thing you have to be aware of, especially when you ride alone like I do most of the time, there are definitely deer and some bears in this area. And if they catch you off guard, it can ruin your whole day. So just another thing, and I know Stefan in Romania confirmed this as well as other people, the patch that I did to this tire. This is a tire that's got a plug in it. I monitor, like I monitor every tire, every time I ride, before and after. So far, it's been perfect. But as I got near the end of the ride, I could see it was getting darker and darker and darker, and I knew, it would be nice to beat the rain home, but it's warm enough that it really doesn't matter. Anytime I ride this bike, I'm always aware of the ergonomics of it that have suited me well over the 13 years I've owned it. The bars, it took me a long time to get the bars that I wanted. I had 3-4 different sets of bars on it. I've got several seats, and I finally got it the way I like it. And one of the only little pieces of the puzzle left, maybe we'll get a quick shifter for it. I know they make them for this bike, and they're not plug and play like they are for the MT-09. But it was getting cloudier and cloudier, actually getting cooler and cooler. And I wanted to get back before the real big rains of the day came, because several times I've just gotten home before the real rain, and I was hoping I could beat it today. But unfortunately, you don't win every day, and I didn't win today. And all this means is when I get back to the house, I'm going to be drying off and cleaning the bike. Really not a big deal, but nothing you can do about it. Yeah, the only rain we hit was on the way back, and that was almost nothing. But of course, we're always thankful to get a ride no matter what the conditions. And we get home and it looks like the sun is going to come out. It's still just drizzling and drooling, but it still was a great ride. I'm getting the bike back in the garage where I can dry it off and clean it. And the worst part of coming home in the rain, not the rain, it's cleaning the bike. Now, I was hoping it would clear up by the end of the day because we're supposed to have a family little barbecue. And I've been learning how to grill. And we do have a grill, of course. And Karen's been giving me little projects to do on the grill that I could learn how to grill with basic things. And I'm up to hamburgers already. So I'm really making a lot of progress. I'm ready to go to a hamburger track day, maybe very soon. Tonight I'm grilling on our wonderful grill. Ooh, oh, oh. Got the timer counting down here for each side. And we got this new spice. It's the topping for everything bagels that we put in the burger meat. Oh, I can't wait. So the rain cleared out and it actually turned out to be a half nice evening, and we had the kids over for a little hamburger festival, and among other things. And I'm learning to make hamburgers. It's a big deal. Ooh, and the timer just goes off at the right time. Oh, and that's that everything seasoning on there. Homemade pickles, all we need is homemade ketchup and we're all set, baby. And I wanted to thank Dallas and Nancy. Nancy made me an apron for grilling, and can believe it or not, it works. As I'm grilling here, I'm thinking of Dallas and Nancy. And Dallas, hey, as always, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And despite the rain and having to clean the bike a little bit, it was not a big deal. We had our little cookout. The day went off great. And I'm always thinking, there's a part of our season around here that's between when it's really too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter, that fall and springtime, and we're in the middle of it right now. And it was just really nice riding. And I have really suffered through a really hot summer, and I've had some really freezing cold rides because I do like to ride as often as possible for the exercise more than anything else. And I enjoy riding all the bikes in my collection. And I try to ride them within the parameters that my skill set is. And the biggest thing of all, it keeps me young. Well, at least I try to stay young. Anyway, thanks for watching.